Hello, welcome to this video painting thing. I don't even know anymore. Here I'm just painting a bodybuilder. I'm doing this rendering practice. I don't know. I just felt like practicing some skin tones and muscles because I don't know. I have been getting into painting muscles, guys with muscles. So I wanted to practice that a little bit, and I also wanted to, I don't know, just talk a little bit, give some random advice, and talk a little bit about my process here. And so, as you may be noticing right now, I am painting without any sketching, without any thumbnails. If you follow me for a while, you know that I really like starting with doing like thumbnail things. So what I would do is kind of start with a small painting, and then I would make it bigger. But here I'm making things a little different. I'm just right away just starting to render things without any sketching. So I'm barely just putting on like flat colors and just starting rendering the form and using the form that I just rendered as a guide, kind of like as a guideline for where the other things should be. And I feel like this method of painting really gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit because it's actually kind of fun. It's a very flowing way, and it's a very dynamic way to paint, to make a painting. And I have been enjoying it lately, though it's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit, and trust the process. You got to trust the process a lot. But if you're having issues, if, painting is not, you're still having trouble kind of painting, I would suggest you stick with your thumbnails and stuff. Just focusing here on exaggerating skin tones. And I also like this one in particular because the highlights. I have been enjoying painting highlights a lot, exaggerating the highlights. And, I thought it was going to be a fun time, but then I very quickly realized that, painting the highlights here might be a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't know why. I just didn't enjoy it that much. I thought I would like it more, but I guess too many highlights kind of getting in the way. It's just kind of annoying. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Also liquefying a lot here because sometimes I do mess up my proportions a bit. I want to adjust things, whatever. So you will see me here liquefying things a bunch. And I'm also using the round brush for this one. As always, I'm always using this brush, which is the default brush in Photoshop. And I'm also using a slightly fancier brush to blend. It's just like the what is it called? The blending smudge tool in Photoshop. I don't know what it's called. Let's say it's the blending tool. So I'm using that. The brush that I'm using is not that relevant because any brush on this like tool section will do the trick, I guess. It's just something that allows me to make very soft transitions. And the round brush, I'm also blending manually with the round brush sometimes. And the reason why I love this is because this brush, the round brush, is very good for rendering skin because of the texture. And it has like this clay texture. It leaves you with this very I don't know, natural, organic blending texture. I don't know. So it's not super soft. It's not like you're airbrushing things, but you can definitely achieve different levels of smoothness depending on how you want it. So yeah, I would still suggest that you get yourself like a super soft brush, especially for blending. I know Procreate has a good blending like separate tool for that. But yeah, anyways, here the way that I approach my paintings, the way my painting process works, or my mentality when I'm painting, is that I will approach each area one at a time. So, for example, you might notice that I started with like the one of the pegs, one like the right peg, I think. So I will kind of isolate that area, and I will just paint that. I will paint that, and then I will paint the other peg, and I will treat like each individual, in this case, each individual like muscle or part as a little painting, right? So let's say the peg, the right peg, is like a little painting. Okay, nailed it. Then I'll move to onto the right, sorry, the left peg, and that will be another painting. I'll try to look kind of mix them together, you know. So it's like it all combines. It's like I'm making a bunch of little separate paintings, and it all ends up making sense in the end. And these paintings, you know, as I always say, the way that I just render these individual forms is the same way that I render like spheres. So if you can imagine like a sphere, if you can imagine like the way you may render a sphere, is virtually the same way. You're always going from dark to light, and you are just adding highlights more and more until you have like depth and volume. So that's basically what you do with everything, as long as you approach one thing at a time, and you know, not approaching, because sometimes I'm not in the best mindset. Sometimes I'm just not in the zone, and I forget how to do things. And sometimes I will find myself just trying to render everything at once, you know, trying to render everything at once. But that doesn't really work. That doesn't really work for me. I just feel way better like mentally when I'm rendering one thing at a time, and then I move to the other and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if this is universal. This is the way that I do it, so that's the way I'll be suggesting you to do it as well. But yeah, I'm actually very happy with the skin colors. I really try to exaggerate it, but yeah, I think I went a little bit crazy with the hues here. I'm also, I think I said this, I made this painting throughout the course of multiple days, because I don't know, it was like way too much painting. Honestly, it took me a long time to finish this, and I couldn't be bothered with the legs. Honestly, I was like, I don't want to paint the legs, but I got to paint the legs. You know, I don't want to be like a lazy artist. I'll just end up doing that. End up painting the legs, because it's the same thing. Basically, it's the same thing. You just create form using value, and then you know, just keep adding more and more and more highlights, but on each like individual part. So yeah, that is once you understand how to do that, is extremely easy, right? So it's not like, I guess, beginner artists, or people who are not really that much into painting, have like a weird mentality with like realism or hyperrealism, and they think, oh yeah, being able to paint hyperrealism takes you decades or something. No, it doesn't. Like, look, as long as you're able to paint a sphere and create form, and you know, make it look nice and follow the form with your brush strokes, it's going to, like, you're going to be able to paint anything basically, because that's what all it comes down to. Yeah. So I'm also following this, you know, whenever I'm painting from memory, it's the same concept. It's just understanding the object. In that case, would be understanding the object, and just the way that it reflects light, because not all objects reflect light the same way. There are some objects like skin that reflect light. Well, it depends also. Yeah, if the skin is wet, or in this case, because it's a bodybuilder, so it has a tan and it's kind of oiled up, is going to be more reflective. This is why you have a bunch of highlights here. Oh, also, and I thought it would be fun to paint my own face here on the the body of this bodybuilder here. So I was trying to paint my face from like memory, trying to remember what I look like without, you know, looking at a picture of myself or anything, which you know, it's always a little bit of a challenge. It's looking really awful, honestly, but you know, I think I ended up making it look all right. Anyways, yeah, this is basically what my whole process comes down to. And you know, it's the same thing with painting this face from imagination. So what I'm doing is putting on like a flat color, and then I just keep adding like highlights and depth. And when I say highlights, I don't mean like super pure white highlights, but you know, it's more like just layers of lighter and lighter values every single time. And so this is what I'm currently doing here, and I'm trying to, you know, match the level of realism with with the body, with the rest of the body, because you know, it's gonna look weird if the body is super rendered and realistic, but the face is not. You know, so that's like okay, how can I make it realistic? It's just, yeah, just adding a bunch of highlights. So here I had the chance to make it look like sweaty, to make it look more like, this area is more reflective, like the nose, the forehead. But anyways, I think it's looking a little bit like me. Probably not. Haters will say that I made myself a little bit more handsome. But yeah, I was also not trying to, because some kind of mistake, something that I really fall into when I'm painting from memory is that I tend to make things very monochromatic. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to just add a bunch of random colors, depending on the area, because sometimes like a general rule or guideline, when you're painting like the cheekbones, for example, it's like it's going to be more reddish, or some other areas gonna have different colors. And here, this is basically finished. This portrait is basically finished. And here, I was like, okay, I just did that one study. Let me try doing something from imagination. And so here I was trying to. It's way easier when you're painting from imagination to just make a sketch beforehand. Like you can really start just painting right away without anything in mind. But if you want like to speed things up and just make it way faster, you can just make a little sketch just for proportions, just so you know where things go. That's it. And I really didn't like this as much because I really messed up the proportion. It looks so weird. I messed up the anatomy big time because I accidentally ended up blending like I ended up mixing like the shoulders with like the back muscles, and it looks so weird in the end. But as long as you do it in a confident way, you can mess up as much as you want, and you can get away with it. It doesn't matter. So here I tried to, again, I did this in the course of a bunch of days, right? It's probably the day after I finished the previous one. But here I tried just to use my visual memory to understand where to add different colors or different hues, just like I did with the previous one, because you got some other areas, what colors just blend better with the rest of the colors and stuff, so on the skin you really want to go like on the yellowish reddish side. And I'm really trying to saturate my shadows, make the shadows very saturated, so it doesn't look muddy and stuff. So yeah, I think color-wise, I think I did a good job. I was happy with the arms. The back looked horrible. I didn't like it that much, but I tried to make like the Christmas tree that the bodybuilders have, but I don't know if that worked very well. I mean, again, it looks so weird because of the. Here, I lost a chunk of the recording again. I'm so sorry for that. But it looks weird because it doesn't have any back muscle. It's just blending with the shoulders. But we can say the shoulders are so big that it's just blending with the back muscles. But yeah, anyways, that's still rendering like the butt cheeks here, and trying to hold myself back from adding too many highlights everywhere. I really badly wanted to add some highlights there on the butt cheeks, but I ended up containing myself a little bit. And also, guys, before wrapping up this video, I just want to invite you to my Discord community. It's in the top link in the description of this video, and there you will find a bunch of art content. You will find a bunch of video classes, long unedited video classes if you're the type of person who likes watching a lot of art education. And the cool thing is that when you join, the idea is that we get to hang out at least once a week. So it's like a chill time for us to like make some art. And I'll also get to like review your art and give you like real-time critique of it. Because honestly, I tried to make like these YouTube videos to help people improve their art. But there are some things that, I can't do unless, I have you here right next to me and I hold your hand all the way through it. So you can join the community, click in the first link in the description. The people who are already here are improving so fast, it's actually freaking crazy. So yeah, if you're interested in that and you want me to personally look at your art, you may consider joining the community. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.